Hey Jeff, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's first of all take a look at your posture, which looks really good. Your spine's nice and straight and on a good tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you. Club works out to the ball. So really good posture here in association with excellent balance. Looks terrific. Next thing I want to observe has to do with your alignment. We can see your feet aimed in this direction. Carry that out towards the fairway. Now theoretically your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera will have an appearance to converge, and with that philosophy in mind, you're set up right down the center of the fairway. So that's fabulous. Next thing I want to take a look at has to do with your upper body alignment relative to your lower body alignment though. And what I want you to pay attention to is that we can see your left arm underneath your right arm. I should not be able to see your left arm here, okay? So what we need to do at address is you got to relax your right elbow a little bit towards your body and get your left forearm higher. So you should get your left forearm higher than your right forearm, and I'm talking just barely. Or if we don't adjust your forearm position, what you need to do here is just take your shoulders and arms and turn them clockwise, okay? To square your shoulders and arms up to your feet. Because right now if I lay an alignment tool across your forearms are going in this direction with your club, okay? But look at where your feet are going. So my concern here is that you're probably going to swing the golf club a little bit from outside to inside and follow the path of your arms and shoulders. At this point in time, let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. Got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing playing. Before we look at that, the only thing I want you to pay attention to here is, can we see Jordan Spieth's left arm underneath his right arm? No, we can't. We can actually see the tip of his left forearm barely over his right forearm. Okay? So his shoulders and arms are running parallel to his feet. He's not stacking his upper body open to his lower body. Okay, very important. From here, as we take a look at the backswing, we want to turn our shoulders, draw our arms and hands back as well as the club. Want the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, we want to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, which means we need to transition the club head from currently being below and in front of our hands to getting that club now above and behind our hands. A very important transitional move in the takeaway. From here, we're going to work the club now from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have either the left arm and club on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth. We also want to create full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a very stable right leg, all the while maintaining the posture and the spinal axis we achieved at address. Let's go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here. So you draw your hands and arms back very nicely, turning your shoulders. Now, actually, I'm going to bring this back just a few frames, and I'm going to stop right here. Take a look at your shoulders and arms. They're absolutely perfect to your feet right now. So that would not only be perfect posture and balance, but would be perfect alignment with your shoulders and arms to your feet at address. The only thing we need right here is your hands still have to be in the same spot as where they started, and the club head has to be behind the ball. Okay, so the problem right now is you've already brought the club back about 2 feet. Okay, so here we are open, here we are square. Well, you're square because, again, what did I ask you to do at address? Turn your shoulders and arms clockwise to square them up. Well, what are you doing when you're creating this rotation? Well, you're turning them, right? You're closing them. You're turning them clockwise. So that's exactly what I want you to do. Just give me this little tweak move right here at address, keeping the club behind the ball. From here, we can work the backswing and see what goes on. So let's continue on with your backswing here. Hands are coming back. Everything's looking on a pretty decent plane, slightly inside, no big deal. Shoulders are turning. Let's get some wrist hinge into play. Get the club head above your hands and behind. So a little laid off through here. So a little weak with the wrist hinge. At this point in time, I can now see you actually have a split-handed grip. So your hands are too far apart. We also need to make sure at this point in time that we also have a proper grip. So unfortunately, your grip is inhibiting your wrist hinge. Wrist hinge is very important for 2 reasons. One, It allows you to create proper wrist hinge coming back if we have a proper grip. And if we establish wrist hinge, we're going to create more power going through. So we can learn how to swing the club head better, learn how to swing the mass of the instrument. Right now, I feel like your golf swing is going to be a lot of, how fast can you turn your body, really working your core, your chest, your sternum, your forearms. You're not really using the hands and the mass of the club head. Or so I think anyways, and we'll see that here in a few seconds. So let's keep on coming back here. So yeah, so still stiff-wristed with the golf club, not establishing the proper wrist hinge, which is definitely going to mean that you're going to use a lot of your core to hit the ball. When you're at the top of your backswing, I love where you are. Great shoulder rotation, stable right side, maintaining the posture that you achieved at address. Your arms are in really good position relative to your core, meaning you've attained the nice triangular position in your arms. The golf club's in perfect position relative to your arms. I mean, that's sensational right there. The only thing is, we're not upright enough. Your left arm should be a little closer. Doesn't have to get all the way to yellow, but it should be closer to yellow. And we haven't maximized club travel because we haven't established proper wrist hinge. Okay? From here, as we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind the core, fire the hands, and in doing so, bring in the golf club from the yellow-blue V zone, wherever we set it, getting that golf club to return back onto red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to take a look at here is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone. So what's going to allow him to create a lot of power in his golf swing. Aside from the fact that he's going to hit the ball straight because the club has returned to plane like we've already noted, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. So there's a good chance your club's going to fall right on this plane. Might even fall a little underneath because we're set shallow. So let's go ahead and see what you do with your transition here. Little over the top move, but you got room to afford it because you were set shallow. Let's make sure we don't throw that club head away. So this is great. Let me go one more frame maybe. No. So let's keep it here. So let's look at your lead form and your golf club. We've got your backwards check mark. So creating some power in your golf swing won't be an issue. The only problem is you're not going to hit the ball as far as you possibly can because we didn't maximize wrist hinge. So you're not retaining enough angle. Think about a pitcher throwing a ball. Takes his arm back, cocks his wrist, fires through, snaps his wrist at the last second. Imagine we took our arm back, didn't create any wrist cock, tried to throw the ball. That'd be like shot putting. There's not going to be any snap. There's not going to be any speed. And that's what I'm talking about in your golf swing right here. Because you haven't maximized your wrist hinge, you're not going to create snap with your hands, and therefore you're not going to swing the mass of the instrument. It's going to be more of you hitting the ball, your rotation, your weight transfer. These are all energy sources, don't get me wrong, but they're not the major energy source. The major energy source is coming down on plane, retaining this angle that we see with Jordan Spieth. Okay, so we need more wrist hinge to retain more angle. Anyways, let's keep on watching your club come into the ball. Nice thing is your club's returned back to plane as well. This is beautiful. Let's keep on watching the club come in. Where's it go? Beautiful. Right on plane here. This is great. So you're coming to the ball from on plane. Just exactly what we see with Jordan Spieth. Again, club is returned to plane here and simply tracks into the ball directly from the red line. And as I stated earlier, this is what produces straight golf shots based on our alignment. And lastly, assuming we have a good grip and the club face squares up. So 3 things we need to hit a ball straight. We need to aim well. Feet have to run parallel left of our target line, as do our knees, hips, and also arms and shoulders, referring back to you again. Club then has to return back to plane in order to hit the ball straight based off that alignment. And then lastly, club face has to square up via having a good grip. So nice thing is we connect the dots. Your club came into the ball directly from on plane. So what does this mean? Well, you can hit a straight golf shot based on wherever you're aimed. And your alignment, we already noted, let's go back to address, was perfect. So you're coming on plane, you're aimed well, so you should be able to hit a relatively straight golf shot as long as that club face squares up at impact. So let's just take a look and see what your club face did. So it looks like club face, looks like it remains a little bit open. The ball is heading towards where you're aimed. So we definitely see the ball right at the tip of that line. But at that point in time, we lose it. I can't really tell if we've imparted left to right spin on the ball and it will fade, or if we've imparted a little right to left, it's going to draw, or if there's not much spin, it's just going to stay in that direction. Okay? So when you come through, might want to learn how to get up onto the toe of your right foot a little bit better. Show us the spikes in your shoe. At least you're carrying yourself through to a half decent finish here, but could look just a little bit better. Let's just bring Jordan Spieth back up real quickly here and just show you his footwork from the top of his swing. Here he is. Right heel comes off the ground. We strike the ball. We get up on the toe of the right foot. We can count all the spikes in the shoe. So just trying to incorporate that footwork. It's a pretty easy thing to do. Just getting up off the heel onto the toe of the right foot. So overall, I mean, you got some nice athletic characteristics with your golf swing. Your hands work great. They come back. They fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You got decent enough footwork that allows you to carry yourself through the finish. Hopefully you can see here what I mean. You're very little bit stiff-wristed with the club, and what's hitting the ball right now? It's your turn. Watch your core. Watch your chest. You turn, you turn. You're hitting that ball with your chest. I want you to hit the ball also with your chest and your weight transfer, which you're doing with your feet, your coil, your uncoil. But I want you to utilize your hands more, and you're going to utilize your hands more if we just learn how to create better wrist hinge, bringing the golf club back. But in order to do that, we have to improve the grip as well. Okay, get rid of that split-handed grip. Make sure we get the club in the fingers. Make sure we get a nice trigger finger in our bottom hand. That's something you're going to have to work with somebody to make sure you understand how to get a good grip, and then also understand what is proper wrist hinge. How do you actually achieve it going back? And once you get that, it's going to do wonders for your golf game. The other thing I'd like to see at address, obviously, get those shoulders and arms squared up. If we get you into a little bit of a more upright position here, ideal, great. But overall, you've got some nice things happening in your golf swing. It looks awesome. And also finish with your hands a little higher. Obviously, we need to tweak this finishing position just a little bit as well. Okay, so a lot of potential there for sure. If at any point in time you want to work on any of these aspects, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you guys are involved with any golf tournaments, you're looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, feel free to reach out. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services with you. Anyways, again, hope you had a fabulous day, and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.